My folks chuckle at my online venture for years until I pocketed $1.2 million and left their darling star stunned at her own graduation bash. I'm Aiden, 31 years old. And if I've learned anything about kin, it's that they'll cheer you on until your triumphs make them squirm. I never followed the usual path. While my relatives were off at college chasing degrees in law, medicine, or anything that earned them a LinkedIn trophy and family boasts, I was tucked away in my old bedroom, building an e-commerce empire from nothing. At first, my business focused on custom phone cases, then expanded to teas, and soon exploded. While they were sending out resumes and hoping for internships, I was filing taxes for my LLC and juggling six figures in inventory. Yet, to my mom, I was still jobless. That's how I was introduced at family gatherings and weddings. This is Aiden, he's sorting things out, as if my company was invisible until some suit validated it. The tipping point came at my cousin, Sophia's graduation party. She was 23. Fresh from a top-tier school with a degree in international relations, the family's pride and joy. You know the kind, class president, trilingual, shelter volunteer, and always camera-ready like a storybook princess. Growing up, we got along fine, not super tight, but never at odds. Still, Sophia carried this vibe like she expected applause after every sentence. Her parents, my aunt and uncle, fed into it. Every small win got a party, a framed certificate, a group text, or a Facebook post titled Sophia's Triumph. When I got the invite to her graduation shindig, I knew the drill. A fancy backyard event at the suburban place, decked out with fairy lights, champagne, and a pricey tent rental. What I didn't expect was a role they'd pin on me. I pulled up early to dodge the crowd, only to find Aunt Cara, Sophia's mom, waving a neon vest like I just punched in for a shift. Great to see you, Aiden. We could use your help with parking. Cars are piling up. No warm greeting. No, thanks for coming. Just a vest, a walkie-talkie, and a pat on the shoulder like I was some college kid moonlighting as a valet. I stared at her. I'm here to celebrate Cara, not work. She laughed like I cracked a joke. Just an hour, please? You're good with organizing, right? That little online thing of yours. I should have walked away. I should have handed back the vest and said no, but some stubborn family loyalty made me take it. For the first 90 minutes, I was directing SUVs onto grass patches and helping older relatives navigate uneven ground with their walkers. No one came to relieve me. No one offered me a drink. When I finally sank into a chair at a folding table in the back, sweaty and dusty, the real party was in full swing. A huge banner stretched across the yard, proclaiming "Congrats, Sophia," in glittering gold. A red ribbon draped over the driveway gate, hiding a shiny new Kia Soul. Guests milled around the cake table, sipping drinks and nibbling. My mom, front and center, gave me a half-hearted wave, acting like she'd raised Sophia herself. I spotted my name on a paper place card, tucked under a fancy fern and buffet line, far from the main tables. Sophia was radiant, her white dress catching the light with every step, gliding between tables like a politician on the campaign trail. When someone handed her a microphone, she tapped it with flair before chuckling. "I just want to thank you all for being here," she said, lifting her champagne glass. It's so special to be surrounded by people who value dedication and real education, especially when it's so easy to get sidetracked by online side gigs. Her eyes locked on me, the pause deliberate, the jab cutting. The crowd? They laughed. My uncle snorted. My cousin Jason choked on his drink. Even my mom gave a tight, embarrassed smile, like she was trying not to laugh but couldn't help it. Heat crept up my neck. I stared at the condensation dripping down my untouched drink, fighting to stay calm. Sophia pressed on, either clueless or bold. Some of us spent 4 years earning a degree that actually means something. No offense. More laughter. She clinked glasses with a few nearby guests, then handed back the mic like she just nailed a TV drama moment. My mom glanced at me, shrugged slightly, and mouthed, "She didn't mean it." Truth is, I didn't care about the car, the banner, or the fact that every photo cropped me out, lingering by the hedge like some forgotten server. What stung was years of quiet dismissals, the smirks when I tried to talk about my work. My own mom would brush past my updates to rave about which of Sophia's professors once worked for the State Department. But sitting there, dust on my shoes and a drink in hand, something shifted inside me. I waited until the final toast wrapped up. The applause faded, and people drifted to the dance floor, where a Bluetooth speaker pumped out pop hits. I stood, dusted off my clothes, and strolled to the main table where Sophia and her friends were snapping photos by the car, still buzzing from the cheers. "Hey, Sophia," I said, loud enough for the nearby crowd to hear, my tone easygoing. She froze mid-laugh, clearly not expecting me to speak. "What?" she asked, eyes narrowing. I raised my glass with a smile. Just wanted to say congrats. Must feel amazing to have that degree and all this family support. My little online side gig just pulled in $1.2 million this year. But nice, Kia, though. Dead silence. Sophia's smile locked in place. A fork clattered behind her. My uncle's jaw dropped. My mom blinked twice, like the words didn't compute. I didn't stick around for their reactions to settle. I gave a nod, turned, and walked toward the gate. Someone whispered, "Wait, what did he just say?" I had no plans to stay for the aftermath. As I strode down the gravel path to my car, I felt their stares burning into my back like spotlights. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I'd done my part. Said what needed saying, and that quiet mic drop moment would ripple through the party like a stone in calm water. Truth is, I hadn't planned to say a word. I really hadn't. But years of being a family's overlooked footnote, the one hand at the short end of every conversation, and a list of chores, had finally piled up. And Sophia's smug little dig? That was a final push. When I slid into my car and drove off, no one followed. Not yet. But by the time I pulled into the driveway of my sleek 3-bedroom home, bought outright last year, my phone was already buzzing. First came a text from my mom. That was out of line. "Aiden, you brought shame to our whole family." Later, a text came through, "We'll talk soon. Please don't blow this out of proportion." Then Aunt Cara chimed in. "Did you really need to do that?" Sophia poured her heart into earning her degree. You're not the only one with achievements. I stayed silent, powered off my phone, set it on the kitchen counter, and let the quiet of my house envelop me. That night, I slept more soundly than I had in months. The fallout unfolded gradually over the next couple of days. On Monday morning, I checked my work email and found 3 new interview requests waiting. Apparently, a friend of Mallory's had looked into my company after the party and was genuinely impressed by what we'd built from the ground up. This wasn't some trivial online side gig. That distinction mattered deeply to me. A month earlier, I might have passed those requests to my assistant. But now, I handled them myself. For once, I wanted people to hear my story directly. Tuesday evening, my mom showed up unannounced. No text, just the doorbell ringing, her standing there with a Tupperware container in hand, like it was 2006, and I was still a college kid craving lasagna and her life advice. I opened the door cautiously. "Hi," she said, her voice softer than usual. "I brought you dinner." I stepped aside to let her in. She lingered in the doorway, taking in the living room as if seeing it for the first time. The sleek furniture, local artwork, and smart lighting. It all spoke of success in a way she'd never tried to grasp. "You've done well for yourself," she said at last. "Yeah," I replied simply. "I have." She set the Tupperware on the counter. "You humiliated Sophia and the whole family. She's heartbroken." I crossed my arms, leaning against the kitchen island. "Mom!" She mocked me in front of everyone. I didn't start this. I ended it. But $1.2 million? She threw it out like it was a crime, like saying it aloud would summon the IRS. "It's the truth." She froze, her jaw tight. "Why didn't you tell me?" I gave a soft laugh, not cruelly. "I did. You just didn't want to hear it. You preferred the version of me who needed help, who fit your little narrative. Aiden, the dropout, still figuring it out. Someone you could feel sorry for. But I stopped needing that a long time ago." Her breath caught, and she sank into a chair, my words hitting her hard. "I wasn't pitying you," she murmured. "Really?" I asked, Then why was Sophia always a driven one, while I was just a kid messing around with stickers in his room? She had no answer. Instead, she said, Sophia's job hunting. Nothing's come through yet. I gave a tight smile. So that degree didn't unlock every door after all? That earned me a sharp look. Don't be mean. I'm not, I said. I'm just done pretending I haven't earned my place in this family. She stood, brushing imaginary lint off her blouse. She wants to say sorry, she mumbled. Does she? I raised an eyebrow. She said she crossed a line. I didn't reply. I wasn't convinced. Not yet. Later that night, I glanced at my phone for the first time since Saturday. Sophia's unread text stared back at me. Hey, about the party. I shouldn't have said that stuff. It was wrong. Can we talk? I studied it for a while, not because I was unsure of my next move, but because the balance of power had shifted, and everyone felt it. For years, they'd seen me as a guy scraping by on a pipe dream and Wi-Fi, but I'd built an empire while they weren't paying attention. The next weekend, things started spiraling. Aunt Cara called out of the blue, leaving a voicemail with no warning. Aiden, we need to discuss something urgent. We're in a bit of a financial bind. I hate to bring this up, but your uncle's hours were cut, and Mallory's new car lease is tough to manage. Things got heated, but we're still family, aren't we? That's when it clicked. They weren't just embarrassed. They needed something. I replayed the voicemail twice. Not to hear her words again, but because I couldn't believe how fast their tone had changed. Days ago, I was a family punchline in a vest directing cars into a field. Now I was their lifeline. I didn't call Aunt Cara back right away. I didn't respond at all. I let it sit, letting her wonder if I'd even heard it. Let the unease simmer. I knew this pattern all too well. First the mockery, then the silence, then the sudden warmth and the "we're still family" card when they needed a favor. And let's be clear, this was a favor and an expensive one. I sat at my kitchen table, opened my laptop, and pulled up Sophia's Instagram. She'd posted a carousel of party photos, banners, speeches, and her new car keys captioned, "To new beginnings and meaningful work that matters," right? Meaningful work. That phrase again. I scrolled through the comments, dozens of likes from distant relatives, friends, and old classmates. Some tagged her, praising how incredible she was. One even wrote, "Can't wait to work with you at the embassy." I smirked. I knew Sophia hadn't landed a single job offer. Not because she told me, but because my mom had let it slip while half defending her in my kitchen. The girl who toasted to real degrees and mocked my online hobbies was 3 months into post-grad unemployment and clearly stressed. Still, I wasn't out for revenge. Not yet. Then came the second call, this time from my uncle. Aiden, hey, just want to clear things up. We love you, always have. That party stuff? Just some light-hearted teasing. Sophia's got a great sense of humor, doesn't she? Takes after her dad. He chuckled nervously. Cara mentioned the lease and left you a message. This month's been a bit lean for us financially. It'd mean a lot if you could cover the initial payments to keep things steady as Sophia gets settled. You mentioned your business is thriving, didn't you? I sat there, phone gripped tightly, stunned into silence, as if holding a ticking bomb. The audacity was almost poetic. No nod to the years I quietly paid for birthday presents, holiday dinners, or urgent family needs, while they handed me folding chairs and veiled insults. Not a word about the cruelty in Sophia's remarks. No hint they were meant in jest, no apology. Just more of the same entitlement. That's when I pulled up the spreadsheet I'd kept for years. Not obsessively, just systematically. Every dollar I'd ever shelled out for this family. $300 loaned to Jason for textbooks he never repaid. $2,000 given to Carrera and her husband when their roof sprang a League II winner's back. Every favor was guilt-tripped out of me. I paid every bill silently to avoid conflict. The total? $42,860. That's without interest or the emotional toll. Not to mention the way they treated me like a walking ATM, dismissing my actual achievements. I stared at that number for a while. Then I took a deep breath and started drafting a message to Sophia. Hey, saw your text. I've been reflecting. I'd appreciate an apology, But more than that, I think it's time for some honesty for everyone's sake. You're right, you worked hard. But that doesn't excuse belittling other success, especially when you don't fully get it. I've poured years into supporting this family, financially and emotionally, and all I've gotten back is disregard. I reread it twice. No malice, no gloating, just a firm boundary. Then I sent a version of that message to my uncle, aunt, and more carefully worded, to my mom. She called immediately. Aiden, can we talk about this? You can't just... I cut in, calm but firm. Yes, I can. And I did. Silence hung on the line. For once, she was speechless. Did you really make over $1 million last year? She asked. Yes. How? You never asked. Another long pause. What do you want us to do? She said, her voice quiet. That question lingered, because that was the crux, wasn't it? I didn't want them to do anything. I just wanted them to stop expecting me to carry it all. I ended the call abruptly, not out of anger, but because I no longer felt I owed anyone a performance. The mask was gone. The bank was shut. The family's punchline had finally landed. Sophia didn't reply to my message for 2 days. I figured she was either fuming, crafting a polished non-apology, or too embarrassed to respond. Honestly, I didn't care. I'd said my piece. The weight of years, guilt, obligation, the constant feeling of being seen but never valued had lifted. For the first time in ages, I felt unburdened. Then, on the third day, a calendar invite popped up. Subject: Coffee with Sophia Summers. Time: Saturday, 10 a.m. Cafe Alder, downtown. I stared at it, debating whether to decline, but curiosity tugged at me. I accepted, not expecting a sincere apology, but wanting to look her in the eyes and see if anything real lay behind her polished arrogance. Saturday morning was gray and rainy. Fitting, I thought. I arrived 10 minutes early, ordered a plain black coffee. No fuss. Sophia showed up 5 minutes late, wearing a cream blazer, heels, and a carefully curated air of humility. Even in the rain, she dressed like she was center stage. Aiden, she said with a small smile, sliding into the seat across from me. Thanks for coming. I wasn't sure you would. Neither was I said softly. But here we are. We sat quietly for a moment. She stirred her cappuccino like it was a masterpiece. I read your message, she said finally, twice. Okay, you're right, she continued. I was awful, not just at the party, but for years. I mocked your work because I didn't understand it. Honestly, I was jealous. That caught me off guard. Jealous? I repeated. Yeah, she said, eyes dropping. You found your path. You made it work. Meanwhile, I got a fancy degree, no job prospects, and a car my parents can't afford. That joke at the party. It was more about me trying to feel better about myself than about you. I let her words sink in, not rushing to absolve her. I wasn't sure I wanted to. I appreciate you saying that, I said carefully, but it doesn't erase years of digs, of being treated like I'm less than, by you, by mom, by everyone. I know, she whispered. That's on me, on all of us. I nodded, staring at the rain streaking the window. Why'd you really ask me here, Sophia? She bit her lip. Not for money, I swear. Good, because that's over. She nodded quickly. I get it. I didn't come to ask for anything. I just wanted to own it, publicly. I frowned, confused. Publicly? She reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, and opened Instagram. She turned it toward me and hit record on a story. Hi, everyone, she said, her smile nervous. This is awkward, but I need to say something. I sat frozen as she kept going. At my graduation party last week, I made a snide comment about online businesses and people who work outside the system. It was petty, cruel, and dead wrong. My cousin Aiden is one of the hardest working, most successful people I know. He built his business from nothing, no handouts, no shortcuts, and I mocked him for it. That's on me. I'm sorry not just to him, but to everyone I hurt with that mindset. Real success isn't about a degree. It's about effort. And Aiden's earned it. And